Yeah. Welcome everybody to another episode of the Pick and Roll Podcast. I'm your host, Deondre Hawkins. Here with me today, I got a 6'3" guard from Willis, Texas. If I'm correct, Willis, Texas.
Yes, sir.
My guy right here, Darius Mickens. How you doing today, Darius?
I'm doing pretty good. Appreciate you. How you doing?
Hey man, I can't complain, man. I appreciate you coming on the show, man. It means a lot
Yeah,
to me to
appreciate
take
you for having me.
taking the time out your day. I understand student athletes, they're, you guys are busy, so like I said, I appreciate you coming out here, man. But Darius, man, new season, obviously entering your fourth year, your senior year.
Hmm.
Last year, I looked into some stats of you for you. You averaged 12 points a game, 7 rebounds a game, averaged 2 assists, and your shot actually really good field goal
Hmm.
percentage for a college athlete. You shot 60%. And you also shot 85% from the free throw line. Tell me your work ethic and what skills you look to improve throughout your off season so you prepare yourself for regular season, preseason games.
It's really like kind of like this summer. I really had to like grind differently because last year, like as you know, we didn't have the year we wanted, and like I personally, I felt like I didn't have the year that I could have portrayed and put out for myself. So I just knew this summer I just had to go in and like just fix the little things in my game, just like to tighten up my ball handling, getting my shot more efficient, making sure I'm finishing more efficiently on the inside, make sure I'm watching film, making sure I'm getting the right reads. Just making sure I just tune in the little things for my senior year so it can be special.
Great, great. So obviously you say you guys didn't have the year that you guys wanted last year,
Mm-hmm.
but you guys did go out the year 24-4, which is really, really good for Cal State San Bernardino, knowing the previous years, it's been kind of up and
Mm-hmm.
down. But slowly you guys have built a roster, really talented roster, really athletic squad. I know you guys love to run. Talk to me about you guys as the team as far as the play style. How do you guys like to play as a team?
As a team, we're more of like we're a traditional grind it out, make you work for every possession on defense. But as soon as we get to stop and rebound, we're going. Like we're gone. Like we just like that up and down pace because we know like we have trust and faith in our defensive philosophy each game in and out that we just know that like if we get stops, we're going to execute on offense because we have so many weapons that you just can't stop. So we just got to tune in on defense. We just know defense first, offense second.
Talk to me about like how critical it is once you guys do enter that conference, because we all know as far as like college athletics,
Mm-hmm.
conference is big time. Preseason, don't get me wrong, preseason games, they're there to get you
Mm-hmm.
guys ready for your conference. But I understand that the conference that Cal State, San Bernardino, you got Cal Poly Pomona, you got Chico State, Monterey. It's a really tough conference every single year. So talk to me about you guys' focus and what do you guys dial in as far as like preparing for conference.
Preparing for conference is honestly just like a different animal because it's like you said, it's not like the preseason. Like you see everybody twice, so it's like that first time around. It's honestly, I feel me personally, I feel like the first time around is tougher than the second time around because that first time around you just don't know what's coming. So like just each practice, each minute that we're on the court as a team, getting ready for the next game, you just got to be super focused, super like locked in, ready to go because like last year, as you can see last year, so we kind of dwindled down the season. So we just need each and every person who played to be focused, locked in, dialed in, because every game mattered.
Of course, of course. So talk to me about a little bit about yourself. As far as like being a student athlete, what do you find
Mm-hmm.
challenging for being a student athlete?
Ooh, just honestly, as I'm finishing up school, because I graduate this semester too, it's just finding time because it's like, man, I'm trying to graduate. I'm trying to get my workouts in for the day, trying to get my film in for the day, homework. Plus, I got other stuff going on around campus I'm trying to be involved in. So it's like, it's just managing my time. That's really just the hardest thing right now.
Okay, okay. So I asked you about the basics as far as your team, as far as like
Mm-hmm.
as far as you individually. What do you expect this year for yourself individually? What are you looking to? you said you're looking to improve on ball handling,
Mm-hmm.
shooting, whatever the mechanics is for basketball. But is there a specific goal that you're trying to do individually? And then let me know as far as like team goal. What do you want as a team? Because we all know team success builds individual success.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, like I actually this summer before I started working out again, I actually wrote down a list of my goals. And the main one, personal goal, is Division II National Player of the Year. Like that's my number one goal. I know if I can lead my team and just put up the numbers I'm capable of, and we just keep winning, like that goal in itself is just gonna fall right into my lap and our laps.
That's good.
And then team goal, ooh, national championship, of course.
Of course, of
Like
course.
that's every team's goal, but like only like I can say like a small percentage can really say, oh, we're really national championship contenders. And after last year being a legit national championship contender and falling short, it's just like this year, it's like you can see it. You've seen it today because our first day of practice was today. So you've seen it in everybody's eyes, like, oh yeah, like we're hungry for this national championship. We're not letting nothing stop us.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I happened to look, like I said, I had class, where you guys are practicing, and I happened to glance. I mean, you guys got some size and athleticism on your team, so I will definitely be looking forward to watching some games this year. I didn't really tune into last year because as far as like schedule and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, since my schedule is more relaxed because I am graduating this semester, I will definitely be trying to tune in more and more for you guys' game. And I definitely will be interviewing you again for the future reference, to kind of like a checkup to see how you guys do and how you did individually.
Yes, sir.
Go into a little bit of NBA because we all know we love the NBA. We just
Yes,
see
sir.
recent news right last night that hit with Patrick Beverley going to Los Angeles
Mm-hmm.
Lakers for Taylor Horton Tucker and Stanley Johnson.
Man,
Tell me how you feel about that trade.
honestly, a win for Utah, but a huge loss for LA.
What? Really?
Only reason I say that is because now you're kind of in a position to where like, what are you really gonna do with Russ? Because like now that you're bringing in Patrick Beverley, I really don't see him and Russ playing on the same team. So is Patrick Beverley here just to be shipped away again, or is Russ gonna be on the departing side this time?
I feel like if to be successful, because we all know Lakers, they stacked their team up to a capacity where they had no exact role players. And that's the reason why they won that championship in the bubble. Is because they had role players, they had guys that are leaders who stuck to their role. But this past year, it's kind of all out of place. We did games where Westbrook was struggling, but then he had his highs, and Anthony Davis being out the whole year, half the year, whatever the case may be, because we need Anthony Davis to be healthy in order for Lakers to be that team. And then LeBron obviously does everything for that team. But I feel like Patrick Beverley brings that energy and hustle for the Lakers because they missed out on that defensive end of the aspect. Because a lot of guys, that's why they signed guys like Stanley Johnson because he had that defensive energy, defensive mindset to come in. That's what they needed. But I feel like you said that, where does Patrick Beverley, where will he fit in? If I feel like he has to accept his role and be able to come off the bench because Patrick Beverley has been a starter for this past. So I honestly feel like I'm with you on that one as far as like because we all know how they beef with each other on and off the court. They make little side comments here and there. So I just had to ask that question, because everyone has
team
different.
chemistry is everything.
Exactly. Who is your favorite team? Matter of fact, in the NBA.
Favorite team, gotta go with the hometown Houston Rockets. Like,
okay.
really
Really young team. Well, how do you think Houston will be in the next couple of years? Well, as far as like they got Jalen Green. Obviously they're relying on him right now. I heard rumors that Christian Wood is trying to leave. That's a big miss if you guys do get rid of Christian Wood.
Yeah, but honestly, about 2 or 3 years, I can honestly see the Rockets as like I wouldn't say struggling team, but a team that's like in the fight, in the hunt, playoffs, like kind of play in 11, 12, kind of still fighting for a playoff spot, but not really a solidified playoff team because they're still they're super young still. So it's going to take a couple of like those, we're almost at the playoffs, a couple of heartbreaking losses in the playing game to really get them to turn the table and really play like they're supposed to. Because adding Jabari Smith to Jalen Green, KJ, Kevin Porter Jr. and all like the talented guards they have is just like It's honestly scary to see. In a
Do you
few
do you
years when
think
they're developed,
do you think John Wall? Because you know we had John Wall. They was basically a players coach.
man.
Hey, look. You can ask my boys, man. I am like with Team Russell. I was back Russell Westbrook at any day of the week, and I will back John Wall up any day of the week. But I feel like just because of his injuries and like how much time he had to take off of the court to rehab himself. I do feel like John Wall could have been a major help for young guards like Jalen Green.
I just didn't think he didn't get a fair chance in Houston.
Exactly.
If he would have had a legitimate fair chance in Houston, I feel like this team coming into this year with a point guard like John Wall, he didn't even have to start at point. He can kind of come off the bench at point or just have Kevin Porter move to the point and bring John Wall out early. Just his veteran leadership and like what he brings to the game just different.
Exactly. D Mix, I got time for one more question, man. Like I said, I appreciate you coming on the show. It's still season's right around the corner. You got to start in November, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna ask you this for the NBA aspect. Who do you think? It's still early, but give me your top 5 teams as far as all NBA this year. Who do you think will be the top 5 teams as far as record wise, and who do you think will be the MVP for this year?
Ooh, top 5 teams in order. I'm sorry, but one Warriors.
Okay.
Like just the way they played last year, and then they're kind of reloading coming back. Yeah, they're gonna be scary.
Okay.
2, this might be a hot take. Milwaukee Bucks.
Okay.
Healthy Chris Middleton, healthy Giannis, healthy Juice starting the year off, they're gonna come out with a different type of game.
Okay.
3 Suns. Can't count CP and Devin Booker out. 4, either gotta go Boston 4.
Okay.
Boston's second strongest in the East. And then 5, because the 5 is gonna tie into my MVP. The 76ers, while Joel Embiid is my MVP.
Okay.
After getting robbed last year, him and Harden are they're gonna come on a different type level of time and just wreck the league.
I like your list as far as like what do you have at top 5, but I don't know, for some reason I feel like I can slide the Nuggets in there. I don't know why.
Yeah,
Jamal Murray,
and Kevin and Michael Porter Jr.
And Michael Porter Jr. I mean, you already know Nikola Jokic is always good every single year, but I can slide them in there. But what are your take on the Nets? Kevin Durant, they made a statement 3 days ago that Kevin Durant staying with Kyrie Irving. They still got it's a pretty loaded squad when you really think about it. They still got a good rotation as far as like role players in the NBA. My biggest philosophy is you need those role players. Stick to their role because it brings the best side of the team. But they still got those 2 superstars, man. They can get the job done any day of the week.
And honestly, only reason I don't have my Nets in the top 5 right now is because of like their previous season with all the mishaps or injuries. You got Ben Simmons coming in late, not even playing. So it's like, of course, KD and Kyrie, like we've seen what they can do. Like they didn't have Kyrie for most of the season last year. He still came out at the end of the season, had 60 and had 40 in game 1 against Boston. And then KD is going to be KD, so they're fine right there. It's just you got to add Joe Harris. Exactly. He's coming back from missing the whole season ankle injury. You're adding Ben Simmons, who didn't play with the back. You Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, and like all the people who played at the end of the season get a full training camp, full preseason, and get a full start of the season with like the team, and like the chemistry is going to be there. Like all the little things they're missing to be a legitimate playoff team. Because like honestly, they didn't lose every game by like a couple. They lost every game to Boston like not much. It was like I want to say like a 30-point margin between the whole series. So it's kind of like they were right there. It's just like you're missing your knockdown shooters who know they're supposed to be.
Exactly.
Your missed time chemistry with Andre Drummond. Just like the little things they can tune up this summer if they had more time. Nets could be scary. They could be scary. Exactly. Injuries is the only thing that's holding them back.
I think I got time for one last question. I want to throw this in there because this is a very interesting topic that I've been touching on. We know this year that the NBA has been focusing I mean, not NBA. That's the NBA players. As far as like LeBron, he's actually taking time
Mm-hmm.
out of his day to go play in these programs. We see
Mm-hmm.
we've seen a lot of these players now because they know that there's people in this world because prices of tickets have been going up tremendously because they're
Mm-hmm.
trying to build that finance back up as far as like COVID time and all that. But
Mm-hmm.
do you agree with these NBA players playing in the program? Because we just see news today that Chet Holmgren is now out for the
Yeah.
whole season. Do you feel like these guys should be playing in these programs and taking a chance on getting injured like how he did, or do you think it's just a freak of nature that it just happened to be that a bad day for him?
It's kind of like you got to look at it like you got to kind of look at it like a when you're younger kind of days like you know what type of plays to make and what not plays to make. So it's kind of like you can play like LeBron. Like if you watch LeBron, like I sat down and watched him play with Julie. Like I sat down and had my TV set up and everything. You can tell like LeBron only made moves when he had space and the right opportunity. Like he wasn't really doing too much extra. Like I'm not gonna say Chet Holmgren was doing extra on his injury, but like instead of like he could have like there's so many things you can do to prevent yourself still play hard, still compete and stuff, and like put on a show for like, but at the end of the day, it's a pro-am. So it's kind of like you don't really need to play your hardest, but like still get the people a show and just make the right plays. Because it's like you said, like ticket prices are insane right now. So like I know I'm not just gonna be going out of pocket, going out my way, paying for an NBA game, and like I don't have the money to or anything because like everybody's not in the same situation. So it's kind of like this is good for them, but at the same time, it could be detrimental to franchises and players' careers.
Exactly, exactly. And I appreciate these NBA players taking the time out their day traveling to go to
Mm-hmm.
Seattle, playing Rico Hines runs, doing all these different things to get
Mm-hmm.
the spotlight for people who me, like you said, can't really afford some of these games, or like children who look up to these guys actually go out there for free and watch them. So like I said, I respect what they're doing, and I love to see them actually going out there and put on a show. But
Mm-hmm.
D Mix, I appreciate you once again for coming on to the episode today.
Yes, sir.
Stay tuned for my guy Darius Mickens and Cal State San Bernardino this year. They got a really, really talented squad, so we're looking to see them make some noise this year. Best of luck this season, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate you for having me.